Hi, I'm Cody Darkstalker, and this is another Booktube series madness. So today I'm going to be doing the Would You Rather tag with the help of this extremely large cup of coffee. It's my best friend in the world. So let's get started. Question number 1. Would you rather read only trilogies, series, or read only standalone books for the rest of your life? Okay, this is where the coffee helps. I have to ponder. Probably series. A lot of what I read is already series. I read Harry Potter series. I read the Cushul series. I just started on like the massive backlog of Discworld books that I've never read for some reason. I collect the year's best fantasy and horror. I have the His Dark Materials books. I have like the Border Town books. So probably series, just because like once I get like in a universe, I like to live in it as long as possible until they kick me out. I think that's also because I tend to read a lot of genre fiction, like fantasy, horror, and sci-fi. There's a lot more series, I think, than with just like normal fiction or like regular literature, just because like there's so much world building that goes into it that an author just feels like, oh, I put all the work into making this world. We're gonna stay here a bit, which I enjoy. Question number 2. Would you rather only read male or female authors for the rest of your life? Oh god, that's really hard. It's so difficult. I think I would have to say male, even though I feel really bad saying it. Partially just because, like, partially for reasons that aren't women authors' fault and are actually pretty terrible, which is that, like, fantasy, horror, and sci-fi, as, like, many awesome female writers as there are now and have been in the past, male writers just got published more. So there's a larger body of work by men, and even outside of those genres, just, like, men are more likely to get published, I think, is just a fact. Or historically, it was true. So if I had to pick one, I would just be playing the numbers game of, like, who's got more stuff. And I think that dudes would win that, even though it's kind of a bummer. Question number 3. Would you rather shop at Barnes & Nobles or Amazon? Amazon. Don't even have to think about it. Mostly because I was a Borders person, and now there's no more Borders, and Barnes & Nobles, like, it's just not as good at all. My favorite thing about Borders was walking in, and they'd always have, like, a staff pick table, and, like, cool, like, little, like, displays that like staff got to like pick the themes for, and I was really into it. And they also had like little stools and like stuff in like the ends of some of the like aisles, so you could like sit and like peruse a book for a while. Barnes and Noble, I don't like the store. They have a really nasty habit of displaying books like cover out, which drives me bonkers. And I don't find it pleasant. It's like a weird corporate experience. And their coffee shop is just Starbucks, which isn't great, and it's expensive, so it bums me out. So definitely Amazon, partially also because I have Audible and I have a Kindle, so it just kind of all gets bundled together, which is convenient. I mean, my life is controlled by, like, a monolithic corporation, but whatever, I'm just gonna not think about that. Question number 4. All books made into movies or TV shows? TV shows. Yeah, TV shows. I like movies, I really do. But again, the thing with TV shows is like I like being able to get into something and having lots and lots of it to like marathon and like obsess over. And I feel like a lot of the things I enjoy are harder to encapsulate into like 2 hours of entertainment without like splitting them up. So like The Hobbit is a great example of I love the Hobbit movies and I love the Hobbit book, but I feel like they're totally different experiences. And I was really bummed watching Lord of the Rings by how much they cut out, and then I was equally bummed by how much they added into the Hobbit, and I just want like a comprehensive Middle Earth TV series, like a really big one by like Showtime. Also, I heard that like American Gods is going to be a TV show, and that excites me, so I'm just going to think about that. Question number 5. Read 5 pages a day or 5 books a week? Oh my god, do comic books count? Because then I could do 5 books a week. God, like, I would love to read 5 books a week if, like, I had no other things that I needed or wanted to do. And I consume media pretty much constantly, thanks to, like, audiobooks, comic books, my phone, Kindle, everything else. So I'm like struggling to even think of how I'd manage that, but being limited to only 5 pages a day would also suck. I guess 5 books a week, but I would count comic books like single issues. I'd be like, here's my 4 single issues of comic series and my like 1 novel. Question number 6. Would you rather be a professional author or reviewer? This is tough. I guess author. I really like writing, and I think that I would also just enjoy like having some influence or power in like the community of writers. Like, not to say that reviewers don't, but I don't think that many people are as familiar with reviewers. If this said editor, I think it would be a very different question for me. Because when I was younger, I really, really wanted to be an editor because I love anthologies, and I thought it'd be really cool to be able to like reach out to new authors and make contacts and curate things and put together cool collections, and that to me is way more fun than like analyzing the work that other people have done and criticizing it. I would just feel shitty. Like, I don't know if I or really anyone has the right to like sit down and be like, here's the be all end all opinion on this book or writer. I don't know. Question number 7. 5, 5, 6, 7. Well, read your top 20 books for the rest of your life, or only read new books? New books. I like rereading books, but it was something I did more when I was younger, when I had limited access to new books. Now I have like an ever-growing list of things that I want to read. So I like owning the books that I've already read, but they're more like just for my personal comfort and edification, and so I can let them out. Like, I don't actually find myself picking them up as often anymore, because then I get guilty about like all the new books that are waiting for my attention. Question number 8. Would you rather be a librarian or bookseller? I actually would love to be a bookseller. If I won the lottery tomorrow, what I would probably want to do is open like an indie bookstore / cafe, and I would sell like soup and sandwiches and a really, really good tea and coffee, and I'd have like a little cafe area, and there'd be like cool books everywhere, and there'd be like a nice big like section of comics and graphic novels, and I could dedicate sections to things that I think are really fun, like LGBT literature and women authors in like sci-fi and fantasy and horror, like cool little spotlights, and like I do really great curated young adult sections for like different age brackets and interests. I think that'd be super fun. I mean, not to say that being a librarian would be terrible. It's just that like being a librarian also involves dealing with people who are less interested in books and more interested in other services that libraries offer. And I'm glad that libraries offer those services, but I don't know if I would want to deal with those people. Like, I don't know if I could deal with like little kid reading corner time. I just don't. Question number 9. Look at me struggling to hold on my fingers correctly. It's because everything is reversed on this camera, and it's garbage. Don't mind me. Only read favorite genre or other genres that are not your favorite. Oh my god. I guess I'd say my favorite genre, because I guess that would be fantasy, and it's another numbers game of like, there's so much fantasy that I want to read that I could just be busy for the rest of my life with that, and I don't think I'd even have time to notice that I haven't read other things. I mean, it would kind of bum me out because I like some other things, like sci-fi, and missing out on that would be like, oh no! But it wouldn't be as terrible as never, ever getting to read about elves again. Question number 10. Ebooks or physical books? Ebooks. I love physical books. I collect physical books. I have to do like a library tour of one day, not a library tour, like a bookshelf tour. I consider it my personal library, but that's because I live in a delusional alternate reality where you can have a library in a studio apartment. But ebooks, just because like they're cheap and they're easy to like format, and I like the environmental factor too. I'm also really interested in people like Cory Doctorow, who make like his ebooks really easy to like get a hold of and have really strong feelings and like DRMs with things. So ebooks all the way. I mean, how can I complain about having the ability to carry 300 books around in my pocket at once? That's amazing. Like, blows my mind. So yeah, that is the Would You Rather Booktube tag. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope my opinions made you think about stuff. I'm going to be putting all the questions in the doobly-doo, along with a link to the tag and where I first saw it. So other people should do it too, and let me know and send me links. Also, as usual, please give me book recommendations. I want to know what I should be reading. I just finished reading Will Grayson, which I'm gonna have to do like a full video review of. It was interesting. It was a very different book than what I was expecting, which is good. I didn't have the highest of hopes for it, I have to admit. And I'm most of the way through with the first of the Imriel trilogy from Jacqueline Carey, which is exciting. And I'm like beginning my epic trek into the Discworld, which also, people, tell me how I should read Discworld. There's about 800 books, and the order confuses me. Like, there's series within the series and orders within orders. So let me know of like the top 10 Discworld books that I should read in order and why. I want to like see people fight over it. Like, no, you should read The Color of Magic. No, it should be Small Gods. No, it should be something else. Like, people seem to have really intense opinions about Pratchett, which I enjoy listening to. So that's it for now. I am actually going to go read a bit for like my own personal pleasure as opposed to schoolwork for a while before I have to head out. And yeah, I hope you guys like this. I'm Cody Darkstalker. This has been yet another Booktube tag. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night, goodbye, spay and neuter your pets. Bye-bye.